Polygon's mainnet London hard fork launching. What's it all mean? Welcome to the Daily Forkast, January 18th, 2022. I'm Angie Lau, Editor-in-Chief of Forecast News, covering all things blockchain. Well, India-based blockchain scalability platform Polygon's mainnet London hard fork went live Tuesday morning Asia time, allowing better visibility of transaction fees for users. It also introduces burning of the native MATIC token. We're going to take a look at that story and a whole lot more coming up. Let's get you up to speed from Asia to the world. Well, let's kick off with some of the top stories coming out of Asia today. First up, Binance is making moves into Thailand. It's exploring a partnership with Bangkok-based Gulf Energy Development to investigate establishing a digital asset exchange in the country of 70 million people, despite the regulatory headwinds it has faced. In its filing to the Stock Exchange of Thailand, Gulf Energy said its expertise in setting up business in Thailand, coupled with Binance's technology, would help the country advance its development of digital assets and blockchain infrastructure. And Binance told Forecast News the first step will be to explore opportunities in an open and collaborative manner, a clue to how it plans to strategically move into a country where it might not be welcome. Just last July, Thailand's Securities and Exchange Commission filed a criminal complaint against Binance for operating a digital asset business without a license. Meanwhile, South Korea's public broadcaster KBS is going meta. It launched a metaverse version of its studios ahead of the presidential election in South Korea in March. Located within Naver's Zepeto metaverse, the broadcaster aims to highlight awareness of the election, with visitors able to check out virtual recreations of its news and political talk show studios, as well as an outdoor stage, which will host coverage of the ballot counting. There's also the opportunity to learn more in the Presidential Election History Hall and to challenge that knowledge by answering election-related questions to escape from a maze. Sounds very metaverse indeed. And since Zepeto has over 250 million users globally, that's a lot of people who could be brushing up on their Korean electoral expertise before March rolls around. You can find those stories and a whole lot more at forecast.news. Well, India-based Polygon's London hard fork has gone live. The upgrade allows for more predictable gas fees, which could make Polygon more attractive to developers. It will also have a deflationary effect as it introduces burning of the native token MATIC. Forecast News' Monica Ghosh has more from India.
After trialing the upgrade on its Mumbai testnet, Polygon rolled out Ethereum Improvement Proposal 1559, commonly known as the London hard fork, on its mainnet at block 23,850,000. The upgrade replaces the first price auction mechanism for gas fee calculation with a base fee which depends on network congestion, meaning users can better estimate the cost of their transactions. They can also choose to pay a priority fee to speed up processing. It has also introduced token burning for its native MATIC token, and with a fixed supply of 10 billion tokens, this will result in a deflationary effect, with one expert telling Forecast News that will benefit holders, validators, and delegators. Following the announcement of plans for the upgrade in December, MATIC spiked close to the $3 mark. However, it has since been hit by wider gyrations in the markets, but in the longer term, he expects it to push back up with the supply reduced.
I think it's not a story for the next 2 weeks, not the story for the next 2 months. Potentially in the next 6 months, we can start to see that thematic that we've spoken about, the burning of tokens, the upgrade, the benefits which come from this, the more transparent processing fees, less spam and faster processing. All of those things will drive the price higher in the longer term.
MATIC's price was at $2.20 shortly after the upgrade went live. For Forecast News, I am Monica Ghosh, Pune, India.
Follow the money. That is every scam artist's MO, and it is no different in crypto markets and countries here in the Asia Pacific. In India, authorities are looking into a $162 million altcoin scam. Over in South Korea, prosecutors are demanding life sentences for 7 people caught in a $1.8 billion crypto scam. And now a recent report by Chainalysis says scammers took advantage of DeFi protocols to loot billions in 2021. So what might we see in the year ahead then? Let's find out with Kelvin Lam, CEO of Lithium Finance. Welcome to the DeFi Download, Kelvin.
Thanks for having me, Angie.
You know, it is certainly top of mind for regulators. A recent survey of security regulators has found crypto scams to be the biggest threat for investors. And no doubt, for everybody in the industry, it's also a huge threat. So why is that? Why are the scams the biggest threat?
The primary reason for that is because crypto is going mainstream. And to put that into perspective, I think as we speak, the total market cap for crypto is over $2 trillion right now. And that was about $1 trillion a year ago and less than 200 billion just a year before that. So on one hand, we have these rapidly growing, relatively new and less understood market with a lot of new investors getting in. And on the other hand, these crypto assets are in full custody of the users, which is a good thing. But unfortunately, it also means that law enforcement would be much harder if something does go wrong in this less regulated space, if you will. So overall, I think that presents, unfortunately, an excellent opportunity for these bad actors, making these less experienced investors highly attractive targets for scams and exploits.
And that, no doubt, that is only going to increase this year as more and more people get into this space. Do you see the size or nature of these scams changing, though, in 2022? What are the red flags to watch out for?
With the growth and value and volume in crypto, I'd speculate that we will continue to see these scams, unfortunately. That said, however, I think I like to think that investors are getting more sophisticated too. So I'm hopeful that these illicit activities will become a smaller and smaller share of the overall market. At the same time, however, I also speculate that these bad actors are also getting better and more sophisticated. And in terms of the red flags, the ultimate bottom line is that if something sounds too good to be true, that's probably the case. And we probably want to watch out for projects that focus almost exclusively on price and returns, but without much details on, its utility, the problem that it's trying to solve, and how they're going to solve that problem. And that's particularly the case if you find only limited information on the people behind the team. That's always a red flag.
Always do your homework. I get that. This is what we always say here at Forecast.
Absolutely.
But one thing is to do homework. Another thing is to see a lot of hacking happen in this space. Loopholes and DeFi protocols have been blamed for a rise in these scams. So what's the industry's take here?
Loopholes and technical risks certainly are among the key risk factors. Often, just like any other startups, DeFi projects may prioritize speed over perhaps literally everything else, which sometimes, unfortunately, result in flaws and other weaknesses subject to exploits. And these again presents excellent opportunities for bad actors, particularly in DeFi, because very often significant amount of money are involved. Statistics that show that unaudited protocols are much more likely to be targeted for attacks. And about 80% of these attacks took place on unaudited protocols, as these audits are taken out to identify vulnerabilities to avoid these attacks and make all these protocols much less susceptible. The good thing that we see is that as the markets and users are becoming more sophisticated, we're seeing more projects investing time and resources into audit, as well as preventing these attacks.
Add auditing to that arsenal of what to keep watch out for. Thank you so much, Kelvin, for joining us to talk crypto scams and how to keep safe. Appreciate it a lot. And that's the daily forecast from our vantage point right here in Asia. For more, visit forecast.news. I'm Editor-in-Chief Angie Lau. Until the next time.